Yesterday we had a high wind warning that closed down the highway because of the sandstorms.
Oh, wow. That
Yeah.
must be a different experience than Colorado.
Yeah, definitely. But kind of like living in Vegas and
Yeah,
the drive from Vegas to California. It was same thing.
yeah, I love it. Andrea, where are you?
Texas, Houston.
Okay, awesome. Houston's great.
Yeah, I love it. It's always hot. Well, no, that's not true. It's not always hot, but it's really hot a lot.
Yeah, it can definitely get cold at night for sure.
But you guys have the humidity, right? We don't have any of that.
Yes, yes, we do, and it's terrible for hair.
Yeah, I think 14% is high here.
Hey, Tom, good morning. Hi, Michelle, TC, Carrie. I'd love to see your faces.
Morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Where's your face? We see like a gray screen.
I don't know. My camera's on.
That's weird.
Oh,
Michelle, look and see if it's covered. Yep.
There we
yep.
go. Awesome. Good
I
morning.
covered it because I was recording a video, a screen. I was doing like a screen video and it kept showing my face. And I was like, I can't do this with my face in there. So I forgot. So,
I love it.
where are you in New Mexico, Debbie?
Alamogordo.
Oh, okay. My mom lives in Rio Rancho.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Michelle, where are you?
Central Florida, Kissimmee. Technically I live in Davenport, but it's all sort of mushed together. So, we're from the Four Corners. So I always laugh because I say, well, I was born in the Four Corners in New Mexico, and now I'm in the Four Corners again. And people are like, what? So yeah. But I'm right where, like, I'm like 4 miles from Disney. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right, we got some more guests joining us.
I unmuted. Can you hear me okay?
Hey, Tom, good morning, bud. Yeah,
Morning. Can you hear me okay?
yeah, sound great.
Good. Thanks.
Hi, Desiree.
Good.
Good morning.
All right, Carrie, I got you. Drive safe. I get it. Tom, Desiree, where are you guys at?
I'm originally from Portland, Maine. I'm actually in Portland, Maine right now, but I live in Jupiter, Florida, and I was up here for a very good friend of mine's wife passed away. So I'm in the commercial lending business, and know a lot of people in Portland, born and brought up here, and used to be in the sporting goods business years ago. The chain of stores called Olympia Sports, and just know a lot of people. So I saw this in Boston area. I said, I'm jumping in.
Love it. Desiree, what about you?
Originally from New Jersey, but currently in Tennessee. So I'm licensed in Tennessee only. And I'm on Robert Bean and Chris Rain's team.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Hi, Lauren. Good morning.
Good morning,
Where are you at?
Tennessee.
Awesome. Jessica, Jenny, good morning. We'd love to see faces. Hi, Jessica.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Where are you?
I'm in Palm Coast, Florida.
Okay, awesome. We'll get started here in just probably one more minute, guys. We're going to get into it. So here's what we are going to do today. I'm going to share my screen, and then I'm going to give you guys a copy of the document that we're actually going through so that you guys can make a copy to your Google account. So wherever you want to store this document, please be signed into that Gmail account so you can use it. And then if anybody has a a Chat GPT account or Perplexity account and wants to volunteer and be a guest and do some stuff real time, I would love to do that with you guys. So with that being said, do I have any volunteers? Anybody?
I can, oh,
All right.
whoever,
Yeah.
but I don't mind.
All right, awesome. So I'm going to, Misa, will you make Andrea a co-host too? Because she's going to share her screen with us. And then Andrea, in a solo window, just have your Chat GPT pulled up by itself. Thanks, Misa. All right, Nicole, Barbara, Adam, Kathleen, good morning, everybody. We'd love to see faces. And we're going to get going. We're going to kick it off here. So since our fearless leaders are, I think, in Canada at the moment, Chris, Robert, and Walter, I'm going to try to fill their shoes this morning. Hey, Barbara. So we're going to go through a workshop that I created that's actually part of one of my new books coming out this year, and it's called Prompt to Post. So I'm going to show you guys how I create content using my interests, my hobbies, my resources, and turn that into long form content and how it can be deployed over and over and over again. That'll allow you to do all sorts of awesome stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is give you guys a copy of this so you can follow along, okay? So I'm going to do that right now. And remember, whatever Gmail account you are signed into is where this is going to be copied to. So click this link. It's going to ask you to make a copy, and then this is your document. I can't see it. I can't touch it. It's yours to follow along, to make notes, to use in the feature, to do whatever you want to do with. And guys, I would love faces. Theron, what's up, man?
Hello.
Dude, it's been a minute.
It has been a minute. I saw your name and thought I'd log in and see what's happening.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Guys, we love faces. We like people. In the real estate business, it's a people and partners business. You got to show up with your face. It's just how it goes. Bonnie, drive safe. All right, cool. So if you just joined us, I'm going to drop a link here. This is going to make a copy to your Gmail account for you to have. So please make sure you're signed into whatever Gmail account you want to own that document. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to get going. So make a copy of the document. We're going to jump into my screen, and then Andrea has volunteered to share her screen with us and do some stuff real time. Any questions before we get started, guys? We good? Okay. All right, let a couple more people in. Misa, I'm going to give you a co-pilot for admittance, and I'm going to share my screen. All right, can I get a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Thumbs up. All right, cool. All right, guys, so this is Prompt to Post. It's a workshop and a workbook baked in one, right? The goal is to create once and post everywhere. Real estate is a leverage game. That's what we're doing, right? We're buying, selling, investing, using debt and equity as leverage to either get out of a deal or get into a deal or compound deals over time. So I want you to take the same approach to content, okay? How can we take what resonates with us intrinsically and turn that into foundational content that we can churn out on a regular basis to help us build our business, to help us create leverage within our business with what we're trying to do, okay? That's what we're doing here. So foundational first, it's content rooted in your personal experience, story, or your interests. Right? It is a lot easier to generate content or think about what to post when you're doing something that resonates with you. A lot of people think I'm in the real estate business. I have to post real estate stuff. Well, here's the thing. Nobody really cares. Okay. That's been my experience. Nobody cares about what you're selling, what you're closing, what your listing is, except you and your surrounding realtors that are rooting for you and supporting you. People care about what they're interested in. They care about themselves, right? Like that's human nature. So if you think about your community, I don't care whether you like skiing, mountain biking, yoga, holistic nutrition, jujitsu, whatever it is, whatever resonates with you, we want to build that and we want to talk about that. Because the beautiful part about that is you can post that everywhere without pissing off any administrators in Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups. You can post that as a contribution to your community or, your peers that may be interested in information. You're excited to talk about that because it's something you care about, right? I don't know about you guys, but I get at least 5 to 6 postcards from real estate agents on a weekly basis into my mailbox, right? I don't want to talk about that. That's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is create things that resonate with people that we want to work with. So let's focus on not chasing them, but attracting them with our interests and using that as a tool, as leverage to bring them into our world. So talking about this foundational content, it's what I call the hub and spoke model, okay? So you can use this document to build this, or you can use a piece of paper, okay? So like literally grab a piece of paper here, draw a circle, write your name, and then start drawing spokes, okay? It's really simple, whether you want to do it digitally or want to do it physically. Once you do this, start writing down your interests. What are your interests? Okay. And free form. Give yourself some time to do this. This isn't going to happen overnight, by the way, guys. But this whole workbook is actionable. Within 24, 48, 72 hours, you can have a whole content model ready to go, ready to share, ready to post, ready to plug and play that you can rinse and repeat on a regular basis. Okay. So the goal is using this hub as you to surround yourself with spokes, and there's no limit. Okay. So underwater basket weaving, gardening, sailing, whatever you like to do, I want you to note that on there. Okay. So at least start with 3 to 5 topics you love discussing, teaching, or exploring. Right. That's the hub and spoke model. That is step 1. That is going to be the foundation of the content that you're going to create to find people in your world that you resonate with, that you'll end up doing business with over time. But that's not what we're focused on. We're not focused on business. We're focused on adding value, because if we add value, people are going to show up. Right? So if you like sailing and you're part of a bunch of sailing groups and you start going into sailing groups and start posting about sailing, which Andrea is going to show us later when we share her screen and get into it. I'm going to show you how to create content that gets attention and brings attention to you so that people go and look at your profile and be like, oh, who's this person? And they're super interesting. What are they posting about? What do they do? What are they involved in? Right? And that's going to allow us to create an 80-20 rule where 80% of our content is about us, our interests, our stories, our journeys, our experiences, and 20% is about real estate. Sure, go ahead and post that listing, post that closing, post that under contract. That's fine, but we're not going to flood socials with that, right? We're going to do that to share and promote our clients. Okay, so that's step 1. And we will have a Q&A. Oops, sorry guys, one sec. Okay, let me blow this back up here. All right, so that's the hub and spoke model. Then what we're going to do after we get our ideas done is we're going to talk about our ideal audience. Like, who are we trying to talk to? Okay. So if it's buyers, if it's sellers, that's fine. Or is it, I want to work with people that like sailing or like gardening or like sewing or whatever it is. Like, who do we want to hang out with and surround ourselves by? Because that's who we want to attract in our world, right? Everybody is buying and selling a house. Everybody. Okay, moving on. Create long form content, right? So your content engine starts here. What we want to do is choose one of our content pillars and answer some questions. What's one common problem or question in this area? What story or personal experience can you tie to it? and what's your unique viewpoint? Okay. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this using AI and leveraging that tool. Okay. So it's a framework, a 3-part long form content formula. There's going to be hook, value, and close. That's what we're going to create over time. The point of this long form content is that it's repeatable, but this long form content can also be turned into so many things so easily for what you guys are doing. Okay. Now we're going to use AI to enhance and expand. We're going to use this to rework or expand your content. So if you say, hey, here's 3 myths about skiing that are misconceptions, we're going to talk about that. Okay. And these are some prompts to get you guys going with this tool. And I'm going to show you guys this real time. Okay. Then from there, I'm going to show you how to repurpose like a pro. Okay. We're going to go from long form to short form. You can break your original piece into captions, reels, carousels, whatever you guys want to do. Okay, then I'm going to show you how to batch and plan. This is a really, really simple content calendar. You don't have to follow it, but you can follow it. I wanted to give you guys as many tools, as many simple tools as possible to be able to implement this and get going. Okay, and now that you've posted, there's going to be an engagement strategy, right? Now, with that being said, I'm going to stop my screen share and I want to do this real time. Andrea, are you ready for us? Okay. So pull up ChatGPT.
Ready.
All right, perfect. Pull up ChatGPT. Let's
Okay.
log in your account and share your screen with us.
Here. I'm just looking for the Chat GPT screen. Okay. I think that's it.
All right, I see something happening. All right, cool. Awesome. All right, so Andrea, what are your interests, right? If you're the hub and you're drawing out these spokes of what you're interested in, give me 3 interests that you may have.
Yeah, that's what I was really trying to think about while you were talking. And I was like, I really like real estate. Like I talk about it all the time. So then I'm like, what else do I talk about? Sometimes I talk about I'm like, what other sometimes I talk about fashion. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to be a good example because I actually talk about real estate a lot, like
No,
all the
I
time.
refuse to buy into that. You're not going to sell me on that. So let's talk about your community. What do you like to do in your community? Where do you like to go in your community? Do you have kids? Do you have pets? Like, tell me about you.
I'm gonna have pets. Yeah, I have dogs.
Okay.
I don't really like, I spend a lot of time with my family,
Okay.
but I don't have kids. So it's like extended family, like cousins, aunts. Um, I like food. Yeah, I'm sounding pretty boring here, but yeah, I'm thinking I don't do a lot of things.
All right. What kind of dogs do you have? Let's start there.
Chihuahuas.
Okay. So in Chat GPT, I want you
Mhm.
to write, I love Chihuahuas. What are 5 common myths about Chihuahuas that most people don't know?
I guess it would help if I could spell Chihuahua. Hold on. CHI. Um, Ch-
Guys, I promise you have to give yourself some space to do this, right? Like I'm pushing Andrea to do it on demand, but you got to give yourself some space to think about it, of how it actually applies to you, right? So you're not under pressure like I'm putting Andrea right now.
No, I'm okay, but I'm really just like, what do I do? What are 5 common myths you
Yeah.
said?
Yeah. Common
Okay.
myths about them. Okay.
Okay,
Smart.
there we go. Let's see. Yeah, they do get bad attention because they're very barky.
Right? Here you go, myth. They're little ankle biters with bad attitudes. Like any dog, temperament depends on training and socialization, blah, 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 blah. All right, so this is good, right? So if you are in Facebook groups or communities or Facebook groups within your community or dog groups or pet groups, or you're in a community that talks about parks for kids, parks for dogs, like whatever the case may be, this is gold for you to start posting and getting people to raise their hand, right? So now what I want you to write, okay, we have 5 myths about them.
Yeah.
Now I want you to write, I'm going to be posting this on social media. What is a good call to action to drive engagement I can use?
I had a quick question while she's doing that, Raymond.
Yeah, go for it.
Are you still primarily ChatGPT or do you use a lot of other AI?
I use a bunch of stuff. I use ChatGPT. I use Perplexity. I use Gemini on
Perplexity, that's
occasion.
the one. I
Yeah,
knew the Perplexity is the one you like.
Yeah, perplexity.ai is cool. But I will tell you that the more you use one, the better it gets trained. So like ChatGPT, while there's a lot of other cool tools out there that most people haven't even heard of, ChatGPT like has gotten to know me so well that I'm able to work really, really fast with it.
It's more like a conversation now.
It's totally a conversation. Like literally, it's almost like this partnership where it knows how I think, what I'm going to look for, how I'm going to talk, how I'm going to edit, how I'm going to narrate, what my humor is, right? Like all of these different things have come because it's been like a solid 2 years that I've been using it every day. So yeah, but there's a lot of tools. Like I advise everybody to play with all of them because they all have some type of freemium version, and then decide which one you like to interface with and then go from there. All right, cool. So here's a CTA, call to action. Chihuahua lovers, sound off. Which myth have you heard the most? Or did one of these surprise you? Drop your thoughts or a cute Chihuahua pic in the comments. Cool, right? So conversational and friendly, playful and fun, direct and engaging. So just right here, this is one great post that can go in a ton of different groups and drive engagement. And again, the goal is to drive engagement, contribute to your community. And by default, people are going to check out your profile. They may engage with you. They may direct message you. You can also direct message people that engage with you. Like that's what I highly recommend. Hey, Sarah, thanks so much for your comment on my post. I appreciate it. Are you a dog lover? Do you have dogs? What's your favorite pet, right? And that's a way to build relationships over time. And you guys don't need to dedicate hours and hours a day to this. You can dedicate, 20 minutes a day doing this type of stuff and you'll drive engagement and you'll contribute to groups. And the admins love it because over time, you're going to help drive engagement and participation in what they're trying to do, which is serve a community. Okay. So now this was one direction with Chihuahuas. Okay. So Andrea, let's open a new chat GPT. Okay. And what's your favorite food? You're among friends. We won't judge you, I promise.
No, I was thinking.
I'm
I
a
was
pizza
trying
and ice cream guy, 100%.
favorite food that I can eat all the time. I love Chinese food.
Okay. So tell me about what Chinese food do you like? What type of restaurant do you go to? Do you go to a takeout place? Do you go to a more authentic, sit down, traditional place?
I like the little I like when they have the little like the little express ones. Like they're not takeout, but they're not super fancy.
Okay. So here's what I want you to ask ChatGPT. And when you say, I love Chinese food, period, is it considered healthy or unhealthy?
Oh, okay.
All right, guys, if you like Chinese food, let me know in the chat. Yes or no? Are you a Chinese food lover? Yes or no? Don't be shy. You're among friends. Yes, absolutely. Isabel, no. Lauren, yes. Okay. Yes and no. All right. Awesome. Cool, guys. Awesome. Love it. All right, so what do we got here? Great question. The answer is it depends on the type of Chinese food and how it's prepared, right? Just like anything else that we could potentially eat. Michelle, you like yours that you cook? Okay, awesome. All right, so let's read this. Healthy aspects of Chinese food. Traditional Chinese cuisine emphasizes vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, cooking methods. Less healthy aspects, high sodium, deep frying, sugar and fat, portion sizes. Anyone Panda Express coming to mind here, right? um, tips to make it healthier, steamed dishes or light stir fry, sauce on the side, more veggies. Okay, so thinking about this, if you are a member of Facebook groups, or if you're a foodie, right, and you want to contribute to foodie groups, or if you have a newsletter, you can talk about this. The other thing that you can do is you can ask ChatGPT, hey, I live in, like, I'll say me, Wilmette, Illinois, my zip code 60091. What are the top 10 Chinese restaurants around my zip code? Right? And see
I
what
like that one.
ChatGPT pulls into it. And you can use that as a newsletter piece to share with your audience. So let's go and do, yeah, perfect. I live in Houston, Texas. My zip code, what are the top 10?
Chinese. Oh, moving slow.
Yep.
Near me.
Right. So here's the thing. We're going to leverage this workbook I'm giving you guys, and we're leveraging AI tools. Again, it doesn't have to be ChatGPT. It can be whatever you're comfortable with to do some work. But by you asking questions and engaging by default, you're going to start to get some ideas. You're also going to figure out what resonates with you and what doesn't, and what you want to talk about. Okay. So Andrea, you can say, oh yeah, I know that place is good, or I know that place sucks, right? Like
Yeah.
whatever the case may be, and you can pull from it. And you may just say, hey, you know what? I've eaten at all these 3 places and I can vouch for them. So maybe you write a newsletter just talking about Chinese food, and you can say, hey, by the way, these are my 3 favorite restaurants within the area. Okay. And if you're writing a newsletter and it's directed at clients, reply back if you'd like to meet for dinner sometime, right? Or reply back if you'd come to an event that I hosted at one of these restaurants, right? Like there's lots of things that you can do to drive engagement from your community, from your clients, from your audience, including your sphere and or partners, right? Title companies, lenders, home inspectors, handymen, construction companies, low voltage guys, internet people.
I just thought about something and I cannot believe this was not my first thing because my audience actually knows this. Actually, I just had a call the other night with a potential client who was like, we're probably sitting there sipping coffee. I was like, yes, I absolutely love coffee. My clients
Okay.
bring me mugs for closing gifts. They give me gifts at closing, and it's always a mug. I cannot believe I didn't think of that.
Okay.
Probably because I was on the spot. I
So-
love coffee.
But this is what happens, right? Like we figure out, like, I love coffee too. I'm obsessed with coffee. And like if I go to Dunkin' Donuts and just get plain black coffee, it's very consistent. If I go to Starbucks and get plain black coffee, it's fairly consistent. If I go to Starbucks and get some latte, it's always different. It's never the same, right? But there's this Yemenese owned coffee company called Matari near my house. They just opened up like 6 months ago. It is unbelievable. Like it is high quality craft coffee, made beautifully, always consistent with whatever drink that I get. It's awesome. So let's open a new window for ChatGPT and talk about coffee.
Oh my God, I just got like super excited. I can't believe it.
Hold on, I want to expand on this. I haven't seen Raymond in a long time, and I know Raymond well from talking and listening. Raymond he strives to go to a different coffee shop many days of the week and sits there to do work and starts conversations with strangers every day to expand his group, his network. While he's sitting there on his phone waiting for his order, he's usually sending out emails and blasts and posts, but he also has a consistent following that he meets in a different coffee shop at least 3 to 5 days a week. Am I right? Are you still doing that, or are you only on one now?
Like 3 days a week, that's consistently true. Absolutely. And what I like, Theron, I I had a schedule change with my kids. So I had to change my schedule, right? So what I typically do is an hour before I go and pick them up, I'll see who's around, who's available, or in some cases, I know the owners. I'll text the owners and say, "Hey, I'm coming in to, grab a cup of coffee or a latte. Are you around?" Right? To chat and catch up. So I'll use that time to invest in my community and also understand like what's going on in their business, right? Because like I love businesses and I like talking to business people who are creative and who want to grow and who want to expand. And I think it's a bold move to open up a boutique coffee shop when you're surrounded by a million Dunkins, a million Starbucks, a million 7-Elevens, and a million gas stations. So like, I'm curious in what the driver behind that is, right? I want to get to know that person. But the more I get like, so I'll give you a real story. This place I was talking about, Matari, I walked in there the other day and my middle daughter she'll be 14 this year. She's nonverbal. She has autism. They had this big thing stuck on the cash register that said, "Hey, this is a new ABA therapy place. If you know or if you know somebody with autism or have a child with autism, please scan the QR code and look at our free resources." So I asked the dude behind the cash register, I'm like, "What's the deal with this ABA place?" He's like, "Oh, one of the partners in this coffee shop owns that ABA place." I'm like, "Awesome. Like, is he ever here?" He's like, "No, but I can do an introduction. Here's his email." Amazing, right? Like that's the community you can build by asking simple questions and actually reading or paying attention to what's happening within the space. Like that's a big deal to me because ABA stands for Applied Behavioral Analysis. And that is a therapy my daughter's in. Like I have people coming to my house 3 times a week for therapy for my autistic daughter. And it's something that matters to me, right? It's close to my heart. So I'm constantly talking about that. I'm an advocate. I'm on the board at a place called the Autism Project here in Chicago. There's these different things that are very relevant, right? So part of this exercise, when I'm telling you the hub and spoke model works, is because here's the deal. If I tell you, "Hey, go take these Canva templates and just post on social media about your listing, about a closing, about a house walkthrough," it's fine, but it's more like an obligation because that's part of the business versus something you're passionate about and you care about. That's part of you. So again, if you like Chihuahuas, Chinese food, or coffee, you must like the letter C too, Andrea, because like that's all I'm seeing right now. That it becomes easier to do the work because then it doesn't feel like work, right? It feels like your interest. It feels like something you want to do, like you want to talk about it. So Theron, thanks for jumping in about that. Great memory. I appreciate that. And bringing it full circle to coffee, like here's where we're going to start. I love coffee, period. I want to write, share, and talk about coffee. Can you give me 10 ideas to help me get started?
Oh my gosh. And that going to the coffee shop and meeting with people sounds like a dream. I absolutely love to get to know people and their interests and why they do what they do. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, and it's easy to
And
start conversations, right?
10
Hey,
ideas.
what are you drinking today?
Can you give me 10 ideas too? I'm sorry. So the prompt be, can you give me 10 ideas to help me get
Yeah, I
started or?
absolutely love coffee. I want to write, share, and talk about coffee. Can you give me 10 ideas to help?
Oh, just to help. Okay,
Just to help. Yeah,
cool.
that's it.
Brew with me. I love it.
Right. So, Andrea, do you have a newsletter right now?
No, but I just started working on putting one together, but oh my gosh.
Okay. So, let's make this fun. You can name your newsletter, right? Brew with me if you want to do it. And you can commit to saying, "Hey, I'm going to send this out once a week or twice a week," right? So, once a week, maybe it's Wednesdays, twice a week, maybe it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's Brew with me. It's your local coffee newsletter. And maybe you have 3 different sections, right? Maybe you have the coffee spot of the week. And then maybe it's the flavor of the week or the coffee brewing region of the week. right? Could be Colombia, could be Africa, could be El Salvador, could be whatever, Peru, right? And then the third thing can be what you need to know about your choice in coffee, or maybe what you drink matters, right? And talk about that. Like there's a lot of options and direction that you can go with this, that you can consistently show up for yourself, but by default showing up for your audience, right? Because if you start showing up for yourself, you're going to show up for your audience, but you're not going to show up for yourself unless it's something you care about. Like that's part of the game, right? Because we go to school, we get our real estate license, we're pushed out of a plane without a parachute, sink or swim, good luck, have at it. Oh, by the way, you're the CEO, the marketing person, the janitor, the accountant, yada, yada, yada. But it becomes work. It doesn't become fun because now we're chasing transactions, trying to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Right? What we need to do is focus on how do we contribute to our community so that I can show up as the best version of me and attract people to me so I'm not chasing deals. But this is a long-term game, right? You're not going to publish 5 newsletters and get a listing. Maybe you will. That would be amazing. But that's not what this is about. This is about how can you show up consistently in your space, in your community, and start building your brand, building your authority, putting content out there that you care about so that you can be seen and get found. Like this helps you with visibility, which is what we're trying to do.
Okay.
Right? All right. So we just went through 3 things. Okay. Chihuahua, healthy Chinese food, and coffee. Clearly coffee is the winner, right? Okay. All right. So what I want to do right now is I want to ask you a very loaded question, Andrea. What would you do with this? If we hung up right now, what would your next step be?
My next step would be finding the smaller coffee shops, like in the area, and just start planning to visit them. And then I would do content while I was there.
Okay.
And I would post on my stories, actually.
Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to stay right here, this coffee content ideas. And do you want to roll with brew with me and see what happens?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay. So here's what you're going to write. I love brew with me as my newsletter title. Period. I will commit to publishing this. How many times a week do you want to publish this? Once a week, twice a week? What's good for you to get started so that you'll show up?
Once a week.
Okay. I will commit to publishing this once a week. Can you give me a format to follow and then help me write my first 4 newsletters?
A format to follow.
Yep.
Sorry, guys, my nails are long. To follow and help me write my first. You said 4?
Yep.
First 4 newsletters. Period. Okay, and we're just gonna roll with that.
Hit go.
All right. Let's see what we got.
So guys, AI is just a brainstorm partner. I don't care which one you use. That's all it is, right? It gives us agility. It gives us speed. It gives us space to think. It gives us space to ideate. What I will do is go in and I will brainstorm in anything that I'm working on with ChatGPT or Perplexity.ai. Those are my 2 go-tos. And then what I'll do is I'll copy and paste what I like in a Google Doc, and then I'll start rewriting it in my tone. Then I'll take that, copy and paste it, drop it back into ChatGPT and say, hey, these are my changes and my updates. Did I miss anything? And do you have anything else to add? By the way, make sure you adopt this tone and this cadence. And that's how I keep teaching it to get better and better at working with me, right? So let's see, what do we got here? Okay, so issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, issue 4, Okay, so now ChatGPT is going to ask, would you like these written out in full, ready to send format, or just use this outline to write them yourself? So let's say start with issue 1 and write out a full format. And I'm based in Houston, Texas. Give me 3 go-to coffee shops around the greater Houston area.
Which you want. And yeah. Please. 3 coffee. Goodness, 3 coffee shops.
Hey, Raymond.
Yeah.
I have a question too, because I have a pretty narrow focus with this, but my husband and I also own a tattoo studio.
Oh,
So
awesome.
one of the things that we do is the story behind the tattoo.
I love
And
that.
though that gets the most engagement ever, because people are getting to know our clients and the why. And so I think that opens them up to feel a little more comfortable of like, oh, okay, I don't feel so weird for having like this really personal connection to my tattoo. It's not just something I'm bringing in, I want, whatever. So I'm just thinking of that for her coffee thing too. She could even strike up conversations with people that are there drinking as well. Like, hey, is that your signature drink? You know, do you care if I make a little something, take a picture of your drink or whatever, and then include that in the newsletter too? Do you find those kind of more personal things help in many different areas?
100%.
Okay.
Anything you can do to foster connection, right? Because there's only 3 things we care about, right? As people, we want conversation, connection, and then some type of conversion, right? I want you to either be my friend. I want you to subscribe to my thing. I want you to buy a house, whatever it may be. It's the 3 C's that I call it. So bringing that in, like, I love that. The behind the tattoo, I think it's bold, it's beautiful, and it's real,
Yeah.
right? Like it fosters that genuine connection of there's meaning behind it, whatever it may be, however small or however many big it may, there's always meaning behind it, unless somebody was completely wasted and just got a tattoo in, Vegas or whatever the case may be, right? But even then, there's usually some meaning behind that. um, so I think the ability to take that concept and apply that to everything matters, right? It really, really does. Like, why did Andrea choose a Chihuahua? Because it starts with a C, or because she just loves those dogs, or she grew up with those dogs, or she adopted one as a rescue and then it just became a thing. Like, I have all small dogs. My dogs are all some type of poo. Poodle, Maltipoo, Shih Tzu, right? They're all small dogs. I've just always had small dogs. It's not that I don't like big dogs. I love big dogs, but I've always had small dogs. They're um so yeah, like I think anything you can do to bring in the human element and make it more personal for connection is a win, right? And like that's why I'm pushing you guys to do this, right? I'm not saying, hey, go create property tours and post all over the internet. It's not that you can't do that. You can still do that. But I much rather you take your passions and things you care about them and double and triple down and go do those things, right? So I'll give another example. I have a client who's very into, she's vegan, she's into holistic doctors, functional nutrition, that type of stuff. So like just yesterday, we made a whole game plan for her to host a wellness event. Okay, so she has a yoga instructor with a beautiful space, a chiropractor, and a holistic MD doctor, right? So her job is to ask all of them, hey, I'm putting together a wellness event. Will you participate? Yes or no? Yes. Great. Here's how it's going to work. We're going to host it at Sarah's space. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do 20 minutes of networking. Then I'm going to give you guys each 15 to 20 minutes to speak. And then we're going to wrap up. Oh, by the way, ABC Coffee Shop is going to cater it for us. Everybody shows up. It's just $5 a head. This way it's paid for, no money out of anybody's pocket. But then everybody gets the leads. So I've invited 150 people from the community. It's posted in all these groups as a public event. And even if 20 or 30 people show up, it's a win. So people get to get educated, they get to network, they get to try a new coffee shop maybe they've never had before. And all of the people that contribute, the chiropractor, the functional doctor, and the yoga instructor, plus you, who's the event host, all get the leads of all of those people to add to your database, to follow up with, to welcome into your community. Right? So it's a win for us to do that. And that's what this is about. Right? Long form content is about bringing people into your community, into you, so that you can develop and build those relationships over time. Okay, I know I'm watching the clock here too, guys. So Andrea, let's talk about this. What did we learn with this here? Go back up a little bit. All right, brew with me, issue number 1. My daily ritual and the first cup that hooked me. All right, so.
Oh, I like this format.
Okay, perfect. So this gave you a framework, right? So now what you could do is you can say, I love this framework. Let's save this as the template for all of our issues moving forward. Okay. Let me tell you. Oh, that's okay.
Oh, oops.
All right.
I can
Let it do its thing. And then we're going to go back to that prompt box. So here's what I want you to do, Andrea. I want you to tell the story of your first cup of coffee. Like, what was the moment that you got hooked on coffee? Right? Do you remember? Was there one moment, or did it just?
Yeah, it was at work when I used to be in corporate, and they used to make us stay long hours.
Okay. So I want you to tell ChatGPT that story. Like, hey, here's how I came to love coffee. Here's my story, right? And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just drop it in there, and then ChatGPT will help you turn that into a formatted newsletter for what you're trying to do. Perfect. Brew with me. Forward. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, awesome. All right, guys, why she is doing that, we got like 15 minutes left. After she does this, then we're going to go back to the document and we'll go through a couple other things before we wrap up. But any questions?
So
Any
after,
questions so far? Hi,
yeah,
Barbara.
so after you create the newsletter, because that was actually on my list to get done this week, I'm behind this month. um, where are you posting that as far as like social? Are you doing like a video and you're doing a newsletter? Like, how are you getting it out there to, repurposing it, just not to your database, say?
Yeah, so the first thing that I would do, we'll take coffee as an example, okay? So if Andrea loves coffee, she should go join every LinkedIn coffee group there is, every Facebook LinkedIn or coffee group there is, anything that's on nextdoor.com, Clubhouse, if anybody still uses or listens to audio on Clubhouse, like all of these places where your community is, right? Just like if I loved horses, I would go join all of these horse groups. If I loved racing, I would go join a bunch of racing groups, right? So that's what you want to do, because the beautiful part about not talking about real estate is it takes off all the boundaries of outbound selling, right? Because there's only 2 types of traffic that anybody has. It's inbound traffic and outbound traffic. Same as driving on a highway or an expressway. You have people going one way, people going another way. Inbound and outbound of a city or an area. Traffic is the same for you as an agent, as a person, as a business owner, right? So the more resistance we can take away from traffic, the less crowded it's going to be, right? So what we can do is we can now take this and Andrea can join all these groups. So they could be food groups, they could be restaurant owners. Like, let's just take restaurant owners, okay? Because I know in Chicago specifically, there's a ton of restaurant owner groups, right? We have 1 million restaurants in Chicago. So I could go in those groups and I could just ask like a loaded question. Hey, fellow restaurant owners, or hey, fellow foodies, what's your favorite type of coffee? Right? Loaded question. See who gets a response. But then I could also go in and say, hey, I love a light roast Ethiopian blend. I shop at Trader Joe's, or I shop at Whole Foods, or I shop at Dominic's, or I shop at Jewel, or wherever I shop. And these are the 3 favorite blends that they have there, right? Where do you buy your coffee from? As long as you're not selling or soliciting, you're never going to have a problem posting publicly in any groups. The more you post in public groups, the more traffic you're going to get to your profile. That's inbound traffic, because people want to know who you are, what you do, where you are, why you do it, right? And that's a whole nother lesson on optimizing your social media profiles. But that's what we're trying to do here, is give ourselves the freedom to post without boundaries of trying to sell. Like, it's no different if you have a listing and you want to go into all the real estate groups and post. The majority of them you can't post your listing in unless they specifically let you. Like, there's 2 groups here in the city of Chicago that I can post listings in, but it's only on Tuesdays and it's only between 8 a.m. and noon. Like, it is very, very specific. And they have a pinned feed for you to post a listing in for that day, right? Otherwise, you'll get either it won't get approved, because most of those are locked down by other realtors, by the way, or you'll get banned from the group. So like this, going this content direction, part of where this came from for me, this hub and spoke model, was how do I communicate with people without selling to them and write about stuff like I care about? Because there's a lot of stuff I don't care about, right? So how do I show up to write about that stuff? Like, I'm obsessed with personal development, right? And understanding myself better and working through trauma and being a more healed person. And all of that stuff is like my jam. So I write about that stuff, right? And then I go and post in groups. I have 2 books coming out all about that stuff. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm going for, right? It gives myself latitude to do what I want to do. Okay, so Andrea, did you happen to read this real quick while I was chatting away over here?
I did. I love the Bruce story. And I love how they titled it Corporate Chaos to Coffee Obsession. Because that's exactly what happened.
Okay, so like this would be a great start. And then you can say, you know what? You can decide how long you want to make these, right? Do you want them short and digestible? So like, right? Say, hey, chat, say, what's the read time on this? Ask that question.
Oh, that's perfect.
2 to 3 minutes, right? Short,
Yeah.
keep your readers engaged, but packed with personality and useful info. There you go. Right? So if you want it longer, you can say, write a 5-minute version of it, right? If you want a shorter post. So let's say you take this and you start a newsletter. Debbie mentioned Beehive. That's what we use. Beehive is a platform that allows you to send out newsletters. If you have a Lofty account, you can send out newsletters through Lofty to your audience. But if you want a community-based newsletter, Beehive is a great tool. It's like Debbie said, they have a free version of it. That's awesome for 2,500 subscribers. Beehive does one thing and one thing well. It lets you manage your newsletter. This isn't for email sequences. This isn't a selling tool. It is just a newsletter tool. But for Andrea, like Beehive would be great. She could take that. And what's cool about Beehive is when you send out the newsletter, it also creates a public website for you that you can attach a domain to. So if brewwithme.com was an available domain and Andrea wanted to buy that, she could set up a dedicated website through Beehive and turn it on, and it will automatically publish. Now she's going to rank for Google in the greater Houston area. There's a whole keyword philosophy that could be behind it. She could bring in other small businesses and do a coffee shop of the week, go there, interview them podcast style, real time on her phone. Like there's so many directions that she could go with this to help herself be seen, get found, increase visibility, build community, show up to coffee shop owners, right? And by the way, I never walk into a business and say, "Hi, I'm a realtor." I don't do that, right? That's the equivalent of, and I'll use Theron as an example because he used to be in the car business. Somebody walking on the lot and them getting approached, "Hi, can I help you today?" We all know what people say. "Oh, I'm good. I'm just looking." Right? That's not what we want. We know how people respond to car salespeople or real estate agents or insurance salespeople. So I just say, "Hi, I'm Ray. I'm a local business owner. I love your coffee shop. How long have you had it?" And that's easy to start the conversation. By the end of the conversation, they're going to be like, "Oh, well, we didn't even talk about you. What did you do?" "Oh, I help people buy, sell, or invest," right? "I've been in real estate for 30 years, yada, yada, yada." And then it's an easy conversation because you already broke the ice. They don't feel like they're being sold because you were asking all the questions. Okay. I'm going to stop Andrea's screen share and I'm going to go back to this document real quick, guys. All right. Let me know in the chat. Have you guys learned anything today and has this been helpful? Please, please, please. We want honest feedback. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Bonnie. All right. Awesome, you guys. All right. So can you guys see my screen? Thumbs up. We good? Okay. All right. So now, right, starting from the top, hub and spoke model, we just tore apart 3 of Andrea's things that she likes to do, right? With coffee being number 1, Chihuahuas being number 2, probably, and Chinese food maybe being number 3. I don't know, just thinking out loud, right? So we went through the hub and spoke model. Okay. I showed you guys how to create long form content. Okay. So there is a lot of ways that you can do with the thing. So I also love audio. Okay. I love speakers, sound, engineering, all of that stuff. So if I wanted to write about audio, I would think, what are the common myths about speakers and price? Meaning a lot of people think the more you pay, the better the sound, but that's not always the case. Right. So I could say, give me the top 10 myths about buying high quality speakers for a surround sound system, right? And ChatGPT would spit that out, or Perplexity or whatever you're using. And then we can go through and we can start to dissect that and talk about that. Okay. But again, I'm giving my unique point of view. I want to take that ideas, that content, and turn it into something relatable to me, just like we did, right? From corporate BS to coffee obsession. Okay. AI, we talked about this, and this is going to take time. It's going to take practice. It's going to take effort over and over and over again. Okay. So give your guys some runway and some space to do that. Now, what's cool, and I think obviously we're going to run out of time here, but I can jump back in with you guys and we can do this again sometimes. I'll show you some AI tools to help turn this stuff into videos where you can create Instagram Reels, TikTok Reels, YouTube Shorts, all that type of stuff. Remember, what you write, I love writing long form because that can turn into a YouTube script. It can turn into a newsletter. It can turn into a mini story on a social post. It can turn into a clip. There's a million things I can do once I have a piece of content. And that's why I like written content the best for long form first. Okay. Batch and plan, again, like we talked about with Andrea, she's going to commit to once a week. Every day is day 1. We all start at 0. So do what you know you can show up for. Okay. That's the most important thing. And then the engagement strategy. When people start replying or liking or writing, reply back. Engage with them. Right? Hey, Theron, thanks so much, man. I appreciate your input. Where's your favorite coffee shop? Like, ask these loaded questions, right? When's the first time you had Chinese food, right? When's the first time you got bit by a chihuahua on the ankle? Like, whatever it may be that you can ask to drive engagement and bring some life to the conversation. That's what we want to do. Okay. And again, like, this is your document. You should have a copy of this. Use this to ideate and use this to start driving some conversations. Andrea, you don't need paid versions. You can use the free versions of everything here. ChatGPT, Perplexity. even Beehive is awesome for what it is. Okay, I'm going to shut up. We got 3 minutes left. Any questions before I leave you guys? Thank you all for joining us today. This was awesome. Anybody? Andrea, do you know your next steps?
My next step is going to be really working on this is what I was thinking, working on the newsletter, fleshing out the coffee, going through the workbook and just fleshing out the coffee more so that I could get started with that one. And then I'll move on to Chihuahuas and then Chinese food.
I love it. It's awesome. I love it. Okay, guys, anything else I can help you with today? No? Okay. Thanks for engaging. Yes, Theron, I love it, man. That is awesome. Okay, cool. Misa, anything else that we need to wrap up with? Did everyone get a copy of this Google Doc? I'm going to find it and then drop it again in the chat to make sure you guys got it. Okay, cool. All right, you guys, if you need something, message us. I'm in all of your chats. So just let us know if you need something. All right, everybody, have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.